it's not that different than making a huge purchase. Maybe by, if I may, I know it's funny.
I had to giggle because it's marriage and a purchase. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geek Up. I'm Josh.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ashley.
And today we're talking Love is Blind, the reunion episode.
Season 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What a show. I tell you what, this
what a show.
They are putting people in the hot seat, and this feels more like an interrogation than a reunion, if you ask me.
Some people put themselves in the hot seat in this one. I mean, holy crap, man. Shake was just, damn, I don't even know what to say about that dude in this one.
Let me just say, this was awful. This was cringy and awful to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty cringy.
Like
I enjoyed it.
It was painful to watch. Like to see the way this all played out and just how it seemed like chaotic and not structured in any way. Like they kept trying to get it structured, but then Shake it just kept talking and Shake. Ooh, nobody likes that guy.
Well, I tell you, it was. I think this reunion was a little more deeper, and they got in a lot more stuff than they did in first reunion of season 1. You know, there was a lot more meat in this one. You know, people really.
I don't think they revealed
feel,
much of anything.
Well, what kind of surprised me is they really focused in on the drama. It didn't talk about the highlights or the good stuff at all. There was no like lovey-dovey music. This couple met. They fell in love. Slow motion. They were just like, let's talk about the drama.
Yeah, like even when they talk about the two married couples, I mean, they showed a little bit of Nick and Danielle's life together, right, in their apartment or in their house or whatever, and they didn't show any of Ayanna and Jared.
No,
I don't think,
too
so.
much. They didn't. Yeah.
And you really just wanted to focus on drama, like you said, big time, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how everyone looks. What did you guys think? So it's been about a year, they said. So what do you think about how everyone looks?
Yeah, I thought everybody looked pretty much the same, except for Ayanna. I don't know what the hell happened to her, man. I mean, it's been almost a year, and she got hair down to like her ass now. So obviously it has extensions, you know, because ain't nobody growing the hair that long. Because if they do, I want to know what
huge. I mean, she had short hair.
If she did, I want to know what the hell shampoo she's using. Because I want some of that, you know.
Some Pert Plus. I don't know.
Now our boy Shayne, he lost some weight. His face thinned out. Like, oh yeah, he leaned out.
He didn't look that much different to me on the show.
No, he leaned out.
Okay. Yeah. Kyle had some piercings that wasn't on there.
Nose piercing.
He had nose and an ear piercing. I don't remember either of those before.
No, he didn't
Sal looked a little different.
Yeah, he looked like Tony Montana sitting on that couch with that look.
Yeah.
He looked a little disheveled. I don't know.
Yeah.
He looked the roughest out of the bunch to me.
Sal?
I think so.
I don't think. I thought he looked better than he did before.
I think Melanie looked the same. I think Shayna looked the same. You know, I thought it. You know, but Jarrett looked the same.
Shayne's still rocking the no socks. He even got some other people to join him.
And Shaina doesn't disappoint with her little eye squint.
Oh yeah. Like you're wondering if can she not see, or is she just like so focused on something when she talks? She just
I don't know if she needs glasses, but she looks like pure evil.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. And she pouts the lips when she does it. Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got to be tough, like, for all these guys, like, rewatching the show and, like, showing all the drama. And everyone is, they show the drama and they, like, immediately question them. What did you think about that format?
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said, man, they start throwing daggers, man. It's like, okay, here's the clip, bam. You know?
What do you think of this? Did that upset you?
Right. Well, even Nick's, like, apologizing. Hey, sorry for being an asshole, you know, because he was like, you know, I know you guys probably felt a little hot about this or a little awkward about it, the conversation between Jarrett and Melanie, right? And
who's Mallory?
Yeah, Mallory. I mean,
I'm like, who's? You said Melanie twice. Now. I'm like, who's Melanie? Am I missing that?
Mallory.
Jarrett
Mallory.
Mal.
When they were sitting there talking, you know, in Mexico, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't get that gold ring you wanted," you know, and you know how they kind of played it off there. But then when you watch it on TV, it's like, yeah, that was a pretty serious conversation, and you know, so they definitely brought that out to light, and that just looked, you know, it was just cringeworthy for everybody. I was like, damn, that's kind of.
Yeah. Then they really like zeroed in on Shayne and Natalie and Shaina.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They showed all those clips and. And people are hating on Shake though, because he kept interrupting and interjecting his comments, and no one seemed to appreciate anything he had to say.
He is the worst. He is like the worst of all humans ever. And what's odd to me about him is that's the Shake we saw at the very beginning,
right?
Right, and then we saw this what we thought was a journey of him, you know, becoming less of a shallow person.
And even Vanessa said that, right?
Yeah, and then. and then he's here, like at the end, you know, he kind of shows his true colors a little bit when he gets rejected at the altar. But then you think that's probably just like a coping mechanism, you know.
Right.
But apparently he has reverted right back to who he
like
was,
worse.
and he's doubling down on it. He's like, "Yep, that's who I am." 100.
No, that's not real,
keeps
man.
it
That's
real.
just bad. It's just so bad,
always the
man.
same
You gotta stop.
I'm gonna
sorry.
tell all. I'm gonna say what everyone's thinking at home. Somebody say,
Oh, but I'll tell you,
Keeping it 100.
that did completely explain like why she acted the way she did on the wedding day and the way she left, because they tell you, like, I guess prior to the wedding, like everybody was telling her, the guys and the girls, like, hey, Shake's talking all this crap behind your back. He's saying X, Y, Z, and we didn't see that in the show, right? So we're finding that out now that Shake settled this stuff. You know, and that they were telling her, hey, he's been telling all of us this stuff, so you don't need to marry that dude. And so that made it easy for her, you know, but we didn't, you know, of course you didn't get to see that during the show.
Based on the editing of the series itself, I thought that they would be friends after.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, because they kept talking about how they were each other's best friends, and he just lacked this attraction. And she was like, I'm his best friend. He's my best friend. You know, I took him home to see my parents. So I really thought she felt strongly about him and that she'd be okay with being friends with him if it didn't go well. But I guess whatever he said and what he had done, and when she found out about it, it was just enough
She
for
just
her.
kept shaking her head every time he
Yeah,
spoke.
she has zero love towards that guy, is what
And
I'm
he said it's about love, not really marriage, and people were kind of disagreeing with him even on basic stuff
Well,
like that.
he
I guess.
also said something, it's like buying something. Like it's like a purchase. It's a purchase, you know, and that didn't go over well.
You're purchasing women? What are you doing?
That didn't go over well for anybody.
man.
And you could see even the guys sitting there on the couch with them, like
That was
they're
just a
like,
bad analogy. I got what he was saying, but it was a bad analogy.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, it's like as soon as he said it, you can see it's just Shayne to his left, and then but they're all like
Well, then there's
like trying to distance themselves from him. They're like, we don't feel that way.
Right. Well, then there's that one part where Shayne, you tell Shayne's want to punch him in his face because like he kept interrupting people, and then Shayne tried saying something, and he's like, "Shut up, Shayne."
what I've seen, shut up, Shayne. What I've seen is a bunch of people that were.
And then but he's got his arm around Shayne. What?
Yeah.
So I was like, then the look on Shayne's face, man, I think he's ready to elbow that dude, you know, just elbow him in the jaw, man. I was ready. I was waiting to see that.
I think they all had some kind of restraint to not go after him. Like I don't know what was going on there, but it was so awkward and uncomfortable, and I can't imagine just being in that room would have been so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and they made it sound like they all still kind of hang out and talking stuff except Shake, right? He's basically like the oddball out now, and like nobody wants anything to do with that dude. You know, they're all like, "No, you're a horrible human being," and they made it clear. I was like, "Man, that's crazy."
I unfollowed you because you're so unbearable, and you think everybody thinks the same way as you, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
But of course, he wasn't doing himself any favors the way he was acting. You know, it was like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
no. And he wasn't really reading the room very well.
Oh, not at all.
I did
Not
not
at
read
all.
the room.
They also focused in on Jared, Ayanna, Mallory, and Sal. And they get shown that Mexico scene, and that was
Like we
pretty
were
rough.
talking earlier. Yep.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting because Jared and Ayanna said they didn't watch it together, but then they just show it like on the
Yeah, and that's where I
green
think
screen
Nick
for
kind
them.
of
Yeah.
apologized.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, sorry for being an ass here."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and then
pretty
Sal
painful.
said that was disrespectful. I mean, he like called it out.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm willing to forgive, but that was messed up what you guys did
Right.
Yeah.
You're both engaged, you know, and then you're doing this crap. Yeah. No, and he's right. You know, it's-
on their kind of
Honeymoon-ish,
semi-honeymoon.
Right.
and he's right. That was completely disrespectful.
It was really uncomfortable. Guys, that was disrespectful, y'all. Either one of you could have stopped that conversation immediately.
Yeah.
And then especially the way, like, during the show, they tried playing it off. You know, even when Sal confronted Jared, and he's like, "Oh, no, it was just a joke," you know. And then he's still trying to hold that card here. No, it really was just a joke, you know. It was just bad.
Yeah,
But it's like, dude,
it was a bad joke. I'm like, I don't understand. Like,
Don't
it was
know.
very flirty.
Right,
Like
exactly.
what he,
Yeah.
the way he was
Yeah.
talking to her and the way she was talking to him. Had there not been anyone else around, that would have ended differently. You know what I mean? That was a very flirtatious conversation on
absolutely.
both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a joke, but I mean, maybe it was like a tease, but I don't know. It was definitely flirtatious,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
So, yeah, and they get to Nick and Danielle. They don't focus on them too much, and man, Nick's apartment doesn't look too
Quite
good
as-
these days.
Quite
you know what I
as
mean?
like pristine as it used to.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess, but he seems to be like
Okay
giving
with it.
into that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Well,
see
maybe
the
that's-
rock band drum sat there,
Which
and
he's
all that
apparently
stuff.
not gotten any better at.
There's
so.
kitty litter on his floor, and he's
yeah.
kind of cool about it.
Well, yeah. Well, and evidently now he actually gets on the tables and dances too
Yeah,
whenever they have the
allegedly.
parties. So.
The granite. He gets on the granite, like the
countertop,
island.
yeah.
You know, it's sturdier. So.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He's fine with dancing on the tables. He just doesn't want broken tables. So, you know, as long as you don't break it.
Yeah, so it seems like he's learned to cut loose.
Well, and I did like when they asked, you know, about the different arguments and stuff. I wish they had gone into the issue that they had that one night in Mexico when she didn't go out and he did.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't touch on that because I understand that was like, according to Danielle, based on social media and different interviews she's done, like that did not portray her in true fashion. She says she was misrepresented on that night. So I don't know. I would have liked to have cleared I would have liked to have cleared that up. But they did say that they've been going to couples counseling.
Yeah, they did say that.
And learning how to better communicate with each other and listen more. So
and that's probably how Nick's able to kind of let go of his OCD a little bit and let her have a little have her room in the house to.
He did make some good comments to the hosts and stuff about like learning and what he's learned in counseling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like,
it seems to be working for them.
Listen more. He wants to fix things, but he's learning to just listen instead of fix things. So.
Yeah. And we had no hopes for them.
No,
so,
no.
You know, good on them.
We're all
good.
we're all like, priority divorce.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently they're doing great. So
which couple do you think's more solid?
I think I don't know. I think Ayanna and Jared probably are.
I don't know.
No?
I think maybe Nick and Danielle are because
Really?
I mean Jared and Ayanna, they really, first of all, they didn't focus on them a lot. You didn't get a lot out of them. And number two, you could tell Ayanna was upset watching that clip. You know, like that was something that definitely played on her, and she was not happy about. And you know, and that's something that's probably still in the back of her head. You know,
Actions, not words, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As she said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd say Nick and Danielle are probably the most solid.
They both seem pretty good. So,
Yeah. Why does one
you
have
might
to be
think
more
if
solid
someone
than
went to
the other?
couples counseling, maybe there were issues there we don't know about. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had issues.
Yeah,
So, you know, I think the couples, and to be honest with you, when you get together with somebody so quickly and you don't know them that, I mean, you get to know them in the pods, but you don't know their arguing style, their communication style and things like that. It's probably wise to go to couples counseling.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
early on.
It sounds like they handled it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, we're going to make this marriage work, so we need to go to counseling and figure out how to communicate with each other and how to react to each other. So.
Well, remember, both of them came from families of divorce that they did not want to be a part of, so they're probably going through everything they possibly can to make sure it works. So.
Yeah, then they moved on to Sal and Mal, but Sal didn't really want to open up initially.
No.
He's like, it's in the past. I mean, he commented a little bit, but he was pretty reserved.
Yeah.
It makes you think like something
more
else
happened,
happened that really like turned him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then Shayne kind of aired out their dirty laundry, and it turns out at some point Salvador's ex-girlfriend came into the picture.
Well, they showed that.
Yeah, they showed that on the show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they showed
very
that.
briefly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he brought
They
that
didn't
up,
make
and
it
then
a
he
big
brought-
deal on the show that much, though,
Right,
and
right.
apparently maybe it was more of a big deal than it was portrayed. I don't know.
Right.
They showed Mallory getting offended by that for like a hot second.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They just something more seems to have happened there.
Yeah.
And Mallory's pretty quiet on the show. She's not really doing much and not causing too much drama or anything, which is a smart play, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, no, they definitely made it seem like something happened there between those two that wasn't good, and that sounds like hey, I'm not even gonna talk about this. And then, but of course, we'll Shayne, man. Shayne just gotta stir the pot.
As in your shoes, that's gonna sour a relationship. Once you shatter the vase, you can't put it back together.
Yeah, like I said, Shayne looked like he just ready to freaking blow up on that, dude. He
Yeah.
just look at Shayne's face, man. You tell he was holding it inside, like, man,
Well,
I
it's
don't want to
good
kill
that
this guy.
he kept that in. I mean,
Yeah.
the cameras
Oh, yeah.
are rolling and stuff, so nothing good could come from
I mean,
that.
Shayne looked like typical Shayne. Like, he was jittery. He was,
Yeah.
like, moving around and everything. He was a little more laid back than I expected him, as he usually would be. And then especially after Shayne did what he did and said what he said. You know, you got to remember, Shayne is the guy who walked off the show.
Right, exactly.
You know, he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, in the beginning,
Yeah.
I'm done.
There was a big weight discrepancy. It would be very hard for me to get past that. And when I'm in a situation like that, I want to get past that.
I thought
So-
Shake was really hilarious. It was a fun train
It
wrap
was-
to watch.
Oh,
It
dude.
was
Oh,
an
yeah. Oh,
awkward
yeah.
train wreck to watch. Like,
Because that's where he said, like...
But he was keeping it real, man.
It
Shake was
ain't,
keeping
it
it
ain't
real.
much
100.
different from making a huge purchase. You got to read the fine print.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? I'm the realist. I'm the realist, Jared. I say the
Don't
facts.
start that.
I keep it
You've been
100,
the
bro.
fakest since we
I've always,
started, bro.
I've always kept this completely 100.
Come on, dog. Don't do that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he didn't like the fine print on Deets, apparently.
No.
Like,
Oh, but guess
he
who
was
did?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, guess who did?
Yeah, there was someone who's definitely making a pitch to get Deep back, and it may have worked. I don't know.
Kyle, man. Kyle was digging him some Deep, man.
Yeah, Kyle said, I wish I would have asked Deepti to marry me.
That was his only regret.
Yeah, and then they made it sound like, are they maybe dating right now, or? You know,
Well, I've seen some social media posts, and maybe.
Yeah,
But they could be teasing, so I don't know.
Right.
They could be playing because they know there's a hype about it, so maybe they're just playing into it.
And I do have, that's my biggest regret. I'm sorry.
Deepti's amazing. I
She
agree.
is. I love her. She's the best.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
And
Who
Shake
knows?
even commented on that. He said, I'd like to see that. And then Kyle's like, well, you wasted your opportunity,
Yeah,
man.
you wasted it, bro.
He's like, that's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I like
Yeah.
Kyle. I like Deepti, so that could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a good
And
fit.
Deepti kept kind of, she was very reserved. I expected her to like really let it out there some more, and she just basically told Shake he was a piece of shit, like, without saying it in the most Deepti like way she could say it. And then she said her piece. She was talking a lot of smack to the girls around her.
Oh yeah, like the girls are.
You
constantly
couldn't
shattering.
hear, but like
Yeah.
they would go
Oh, yeah.
back and forth. Like anytime Shake spoke, she said something to either
something to
Natalie or
say.
Shayna. She was saying,
And I don't know why Shayna's like commenting on it. Like, she's, in my opinion, just as bad.
Oh
so.
yeah,
Yeah, Shayna's
You know, I'm very surprised they did not call anything out about when they got together after the fact when they're on the beach. They didn't mention anything about
yeah,
that.
that
and what-
conversation.
Yeah, they
what
totally
she was
should've.
saying about Natalie and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
and how
Being
their
in a fake
relationship was a
relationship and
sham.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I was very surprised they didn't talk about
Yeah,
that.
because that was one of the most
'Cause-
drama-filled episodes.
in season 1 they did, like, they called Jessica out on that stuff in season 1, you know, so
Yeah.
you'd expect that stuff to happen in this one, and they didn't bring it up. So
Well, they've all forgiven each other, so it's fine.
yeah, yeah, you could tell. You could really tell.
They've all gotten past it. It's fine.
Well, then speaking of Shayna, you know, so her and Kyle, right? Kyle calls her out again, just like he did in the show. Like, you're wasting my time.
If you had just said no, it would have saved so much trouble.
100%. So
Like,
Yeah.
you know, you should have just told me in the room or when we met that, you know, I'm not digging this, and that could have been that. You know, he's like, you drugged me along and you wasted my time, and it was, you know, it wasn't cool. You know,
And she's
he's
like,
right.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I don't know
sorry.
what more she could say, though. But
No,
Yeah, and that's what she's like,
She's
what
like,
else
I
do you
own
want me
it.
to
Yeah,
say?
she's like, I own
You're
it.
right, and I'm sorry, I own it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of ruined the whole thing for him. Like, and he did kind of get that clarification. Was it you weren't attracted to me? Was it the religion? Was it something, my personality? Was it something else? And, you know, and she said at the end of the day, it was the religion. And I'm like, well, then why do you say yes
I
to
think,
begin
I think it
with?
was those ears, man. She just thought maybe he was going to fly away somewhere, you know. He
Yeah.
wouldn't stay around it.
Kyle was one of the better dudes.
No, he was. Man.
So-
He was a
Yeah.
good dude.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She was hesitant. She accepted it, and you even on the show when you see her accept it, and then she goes and talks to Jarrett like before she meets. She, at least the way the editing shows you, she went and talked to Jarrett before she actually met and before the reveal to Kyle. Now, did that really happen that way? I don't know.
Well, she followed up with Shayne once she said yes to being
I
married.
said Jarrett. I
Shayne.
get the triangles
Yeah.
confused. Yeah, to Shayne. She followed up with Shayne, you know, after the engagement. So she accepted that engagement.
She didn't
So
have a valid excuse why she did that either.
No.
And when-
And that's the thing is it has, whether it's the ears or not, it had something to do. It's
Not the ears.
It's not the ears. She hesitated. She did not want to marry him at the time she said she wanted to marry
See,
him.
but I got it in your mind now. You're like, man, maybe it was the ears.
It's not the ears.
She was like that
Maybe
before
she was
saw him.
maybe she was hoping that he would be so magically dreamy that all that didn't
I think
matter.
what
I don't
happened
know.
was she was still stuck on
Shayne.
Shayne.
Oh, yeah, dude. No doubt.
And the religion, I think, played a part in it, but she was
Yeah.
stuck on Shayne.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, and she couldn't have him, so she went to Plan B. And that was a mistake.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, you know, you mentioned that because even Kyle was like, you know, he's like, I think the editing was a little off. Like, you know, you confuse people because he's like, Shayna and I actually had some really close moments.
Right,
that
and you never
showed.
see that.
He's like, you never showed that in the show. And then even Shake was like, yeah, you know what? You know whose idea was it to have her meet with Shayne after they engaged, and then at that point, Vanessa's like, okay, as you change the subject.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
because I never understood the Kyle Shayna
Mm-hmm.
connection based on the editing. Like, I never saw anything that said, "Oh yeah."
Well, Kyle could
you're
also
right.
have like a view in his own mind that it was better than he thought.
was,
Because
yeah.
even when she was making those faces, he was pretty elated anyway. So
Yeah.
I think in his mind it played out different than reality
Yeah.
as well.
Possibly.
So.
Well, like I said,
But I want it to be partially blind. I want it to be love is blurry. Love is blurry.
well, why don't you
okay?
start Love is Blurry?
Somebody
and-
get Netflix on the show. Spinoff.
Yeah.
Love is blurry.
Yeah.
And
He's like, it ain't blind, but it's blurry.
he's like, I need to see something, but like
Yeah.
they're like, you're on the wrong show, and he's like, well,
Yeah, maybe I am.
Yeah, and Vanessa, the host, she, I mean, she stood up at some point. Like, she was getting ready, and like Nick's like, okay, you need to sit down. Like, sit down.
I thought they were a little unprofessional too, like just
yeah.
with the way they were handling things. And,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
know,
definitely-
not very structured. And
No, I wouldn't.
They were definitely not neutral. They had their opinions, and they let their opinions
absolutely.
known. You know, Nick made a comment to Shake about how disrespectful he was, or something about how ashamed he was of, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
The way he was acting.
being a fellow man. Like, this is,
Right,
you
right.
know, and how he treats women, and like
he
you
said
just
something
don't-
about like pets and stuff, and then Shake's like, the animal community's not gonna like that.
yeah, and he's like, that's how you treat women. I don't appreciate or like how you treat women
Yeah.
or humans. I think he said humans. I don't even think it was just women.
Right,
you
when that's
know?
Jake's like, we're animals, we're all animals.
Yeah. So nobody liked Shake.
Yeah, no,
like
no.
nobody liked Shake.
Well, I mean, there was a good reason during that show because
Yeah.
during the reunion, because he was just
Yeah.
not
Apparently,
being good, man.
Deepti dodged like a nuclear warhead going off. Not even a bullet, like a nuclear
Yeah.
warhead on that one.
No
So
doubt.
I don't know, but something tells me she was onto that earlier than
Then
the
we
show,
thought
the
she
show
was,
shows,
yeah.
So.
Because she wasn't even upset about saying no to him. She was like, I choose me.
Yeah.
Bye. And then
Yeah.
she walked away. Like, she wasn't crying. She wasn't upset. She
Oh yeah, no.
she
Probably,
knew she was saying no way before.
yeah, probably because she got so much in the earful from everybody. She's like, okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Y'all just made my job a lot easier here. Made my
Well, I
decision
can
easy.
imagine it was painful for her to watch the series and see, like, even though she knows and she lived it and played it out, when she's like loving on him in Mexico
Right,
in the
he's
tub
like,
and
"Eh."
everything, and he's like, and she's like, I want to make babies with you, and he's just looking around like in agony, like somebody
But he
pull
did
me
say
out
that
of
when they
here.
first met.
Yeah, but then,
Yeah.
and then the comment he made after that she had to watch, he's like, it's funny, it was me saying this to her before, but now she's saying it's me, and I'm just like, eh.
I think he
Right.
whispered when they first met, like, I want to get you pregnant or something like that.
He
And
did.
it's like,
Exactly. And then she's just kind of playing along with that, and like, you know, she's all in, and he's just
that dude's
looking
all
like-
over the place. Man.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
God bless Deepti for putting up with it. So.
Yeah. So that had to be hard to watch, knowing, you know, that the rest of the world watched that
yeah.
happen. And it's embarrassing. But I mean, also she, at this point in time, she realizes the rest of the world's got her back. So
Well, but the funny thing about this is, right, all these embarrassing moments we're talking about, they knew that the rest of the world was going to see it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they got cameras on them 24/7. It's like, there's no hiding. Like, so it's, for them to do that, and then they're going to get pissed off after or feel embarrassed after and everything. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, like, dude, you knew that camera was rolling, man. Like, you said all that stuff while the camera was rolling. You knew the camera was rolling. And,
Well, Mallory did say she was throwing back some drinks on that one.
Oh, yeah.
With,
Well, they all were, dude.
Jared.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
they were all drunk that
it
night.
looks like
Yeah.
she was. So,
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah.
they were all drunk that night. But I tell you what, though, man, I'm definitely looking forward to the 2-year reunion, man. Because there was so much drama just in this 1 year, man.
well, like
I'm
I said,
curious- I'm
I
curious
thought
how 2 years
they
would
did
be.
him a disservice by not even focusing on any good highlights whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to like show marriage and love, you seem more focused in on the drama than that aspect. So
And I
You're
gotta
right
tell
about
you, we were all about Shayne and Natalie. We said they were gonna say yes, and then there was, when we
they
predicted,
said they were though right before
when
that
we
argument.
predicted it in our defense, that was before the fight.
Right.
And they did talk
That
about
must
the
have been
fight.
one hell of a fight.
It
Oh,
must
yeah,
have been.
yeah.
Because she said she couldn't get past it either.
And
she
she
said it's still in
seems
her head, yeah.
visibly shaken and upset while filming this a year later. She is definitely like distraught by whatever happened in that argument. And he has apologized and he kept apologizing and everything, but he didn't let it go. He was like, well, He's like, I'll own my part of it.
He said he had regrets there.
And he did regret it, and he wished he had. And you could tell he was visibly upset. Like, I feel
he was.
like I'm back rooting for these people to get back together at this point.
He's upset because he's like, I'm getting all the blame, but he's like, there's a reason why I said what I said,
exactly.
and that's not being addressed.
Right.
Exactly. And I like that he didn't air that out. He didn't say what she did or said that got him to that point.
I think it was all the jokes added up with him.
Maybe.
It had a lot to do with it, I think.
But she also acknowledged it somewhat and said, you're right, I apologize for anything that I did in that moment.
She was cool,
too.
and she's like, I'm not trying to say this is on you. I'm just trying to explain the situation and what went down.
And she's not happy of how it played out, period.
And she's like, it's our communication, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think watching Shayne in this, I think he definitely has grown a little bit. 'Cause he was, I mean, the way he was talking, he said, look, I'm realizing, myself, who I am, and the stuff I need to work on myself. I realize that, I have some regrets of what I did there, and so it's good that he's actually at least reflecting on it, right? He watched the show and he's kind of reflecting back on things.
Well,
and,
he at least is smarter how he handles it than Shake when the cameras are rolling at the very least.
Right. Exactly.
Well, now I did go because I now I'm back rooting for them to get back together and everything. And they did say that they tried dating again after, and it didn't really work. But I did go to their social medias and kind of check that out. And they each made a dedicated post to each other just recently, I think, after this one aired. Really, like, wholeheartedly just saying that they love each other, like, as people. And, like, they're not together, but they respect each other and love each other. So they're at least friends and get along.
I think there's more to the story, though, because, like, there seems to still be something going on with Shayne and Shaina, and he refused to comment on that at all, which makes it leads me to believe that they're trying to see each other.
Or have seen each other.
Shaina was adamant that they had, but they didn't date. They were just friends. It was all friends and everything. And I have to believe that because
if that's the case, why wouldn't he comment on it?
I get that. However, Shaina is the type of person that would want that out there. So I'm surprised that Shaina would deny it if it happened.
She almost kind of said, "Go ahead and tell the people," but he's like, "I'm not touching."
I think maybe because you could tell the love was still there between him and Natalie. So I think maybe he just didn't want to talk about that in front of her. Like maybe,
I think so.
I think maybe he was kind of hiding from her a little bit that he had been seeing.
I think he's also worried about his reputation.
Oh yeah.
Because that's why I think.
But why would Shaina protect that? Because Shaina doesn't seem the type of person to. I
think she said, "Go ahead and tell him," and he's like, "No, I'm not going to do that." I think she wanted him to say, and I think she was taken back that he refused to talk about it.
I don't know. She seemed, I don't know. It's odd.
And then that brings it full circle back again with that triangle thing where he really wanted kind of like Shaina, and the beach scene and all that like comes to a head, and that's kind of interesting if those two end up
I don't know how
trying to make it work.
I lose all. I'm back to losing respect for Shayne if he hooked up with Shaina.
But you were just talking about like how you root for him.
If he hooked up with Shaina at any time or tries to again, all respect is gone.
Yeah, I would like to see him and Natalie work out.
I really would.
I don't think that's happened.
I don't think it is either.
Probably not, but I would like to see it, man. It's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame because I really think.
She even said it's probably for the best that they didn't end up together.
That argument would have been something to see for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a good thing it was in private.
I will say for me, I like held on to that fight for so long, and I kind of held it against you. And
yeah, it definitely wasn't good, whatever it was.
No.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate.
It is.
You guys got anything?
It seemed like he was still going to say yes that night, though.
Oh, I think
would have been odd, right?
I think he was. Yeah.
Well, because he didn't mean it.
But he kind of said he did. So I mean, I don't know. He's a little wishy-washy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he meant it at the moment.
I think
he was mad.
I think he's trying to say
it.
that was a direct response to how I was feeling, which is getting ignored and all this.
Right.
So they touch up with Jared and Ayanna again, and there's not a whole lot going on there that's drama worthy or anything else.
It's not drama worthy, but they did say that he's done better about like staying in, and she's done better. There's about the compromise. It's not he's not altering his life to what she needs. They're compromising and she's kind of doing the things that he wants to do, and he's doing the things that she wants to do.
Yeah,
he said he gives her the opportunity to say no.
Which is smart, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I'm going out, he probably says, hey, I'm thinking about going out. Do you have an issue with that? And she's like,
Yes, I
geez, I don't want you going out, but I don't want to be the reason why you're not. So that's kind of a smart move, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're working through typical issues and finding that balance. And
Yeah. That's
everything's
smart.
cool. And they were cuddling as the scenes were going
Yeah,
on.
they were.
And,
That was good. Yeah.
You know.
Now
was
they
rough,
did
but-
reveal also that because she was very adamant about not being physical with him until their wedding day, and then she kind of owned up that in Mexico they did.
One time they said one time. We did it one time.
Happens in Mexico.
It was just one time.
Yeah, just once.
And they had to read the fine print. Make sure
That's right.
that was okay.
Got to try it before you buy it.
That's right. And do it once to make sure that works.
Shake's like,
Told you.
Shake should have said something at that
he
point.
should have. Yeah, he totally should have.
So what'd you think about that new show, The Ultimatum? Ultimatum.
Ultimatum?
Oh, you ultimaniacs out there.
That they presented.
I don't understand it. I don't understand the type of person that would sign up to be on that show.
Oh, yeah.
If you're signing up to be on that show, then just leave the person you're with because it's not right.
I noticed that they got the silver cups instead of the gold
I
cups
did
on
see
there.
that,
So
yeah.
Mallory would be disappointed, I guess, if she was on there.
Yeah, it's
So
not-
that's not her thing.
Yeah, I mean, you go from this show to that. I mean, that show is like you've got couples that have been together for a long time that are going on this show to date another couple or date other people to see if that'll work. And it's like, dude, this is your girl for like 2 years now, however long, and what happens if she sleeps with one of these dudes?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. You don't just get over that.
Or vice versa. Yeah, you don't get over that. And it's like, we gonna see some stuff coming to blows on this or what? Because
here's the big clue,
crazy.
I think. If you're willing to explore it, then you're probably not in a good relationship.
Exactly.
It seems pretty simple to me, but.
Yeah, like if you want to say yes, okay, honey, yeah, I'm willing to risk you sleeping with somebody else, and it's like, at that point, it's like we shouldn't even be together,
Right. Well, I mean, if you're at that point where you have to issue that ultimatum, there's obviously an issue there at some point.
Right. Exactly.
Like if you've been together 5 years, and one of you wants to get married and the other one doesn't, maybe you're not respecting the person who doesn't want to get married as to why they don't want to get married, or maybe you're more invested in it than that person's invested in it, and like that's not good either way. So why bring even a third party into it at this point?
What's that? Shake says you got to go on multiple test drives. He says you got to go on multiple test drives sometimes before you pick the right car. So that's what he says about this show.
Okay. I don't think Shake's ever buying that car or the house.
I need to see more Shake. We need to bring him back. That's for sure.
Give him his own reality TV show, man.
No.
Life of Shake.
No. This show has got to have ruined his dating life.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
I think he's embracing the villain role.
Yeah, I think
really
so.
do.
I think he is too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's meeting a lot of women with daddy
He's
issues.
trying to stir the pot or shake the pot up or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he's got to find He's got to find women with self-esteem, daddy issues or something. Like
He'll take them all.
He'll take him for a test drive.
That's right.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh man. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good.
Final thoughts?
Good?
I did not like this reunion. It was cringy. I didn't like it. It was hard to watch.
It made for good TV, I thought. I thought it made for good TV.
I mean, I like being entertained. I love watching a train wreck. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But it was hard to watch. It was uncomfortable.
I mean, Natalie broke down, was crying, and that was like, geez, man.
Yeah.
Somebody hug this girl or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was very hard to watch and uncomfortable. And I can only imagine how uncomfortable it was to be in the room or to just like to be the film crew filming that.
They're like in hand.
Zooming in.
Yeah.
Let me see those tears.
I think there's a tear. We can get the shine off of that. And they're like, oh, Shake's talking again.
Well, see, that's the thing, too. You could tell the camera crews are kind of egging him on, during the show. Because, there's some scenes where the camera crews, asking him questions. He's like, I don't want to talk about that, man. But no, but tell me. He's like, dude, I just told you I want to talk about that. So then there's times you can see, the camera crew, talking to them, asking them questions, they want to answer. So.
And I also say, Sal, being the classy guy he's the only one at the end. He says, I just want to congratulate the two couples. And you inspire me and this, that, and the other. So man, that dude, he just knows what to say, when to say it.
On that note.
He should have sung them in song, though.
That's right. On that note, what we learn from this? Keep it classy.
Keep it classy and love is blurry.
Love is blurry. Not necessarily blind. But hey, guys. we hope you enjoyed this discussion here because we definitely enjoy having it, and we love talking with you guys. So please leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. We'll interact with you, talk to you about it. Especially with Shake, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
Are there any Shake fans?
Right. I want to know what you guys are going to say about Shake.
Gonna watch this and comment?
That'd be cool.
Can you clarify something, Shake?
I got some questions for you.
And then maybe we'll see you guys at the next at the Ultimatum. Is that what it's called? Yeah. All right.
Allegedly.
All right. Hey, everybody, take care, and we'll check you later.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
We forgot Barbara Shake was like, I'm not really attracting any of these women on here except Vanessa. She's
oh man, we did miss that one.
Yeah.
That's
you must
odd.
like that, Shake.
Yeah.
You must like that, man. Like when we talk down right there,
Peanut
butter jelly time.
Seeing him drink that makes me nauseous right now.
Yeah.
Preview your notes. So
what's that, Shake?
Hello? It's just in. Shake, rattle and roll.
I can imagine.
You know what? You make fun of it, but like they had it right back in the day, in like the 50s when they had the two separate beds.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I think that was just TV, though.
No, I think they did it. Ugh. This was awful. Can I just say that? I'm gonna say that when we actually.
Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
Say what you want.
You know,
it was awful.
Free country.
That's right, free country.
You could drink that all night long. You can.
Yeah.
There are consequences if you do, but you can. And they say to mix it with Bailey's.
Oh, Bailey's.
Oh, okay.
Which I did.
Really? How was it?
I don't remember.
Peanut butter and Irish cream.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's a good drink.
I think I liked it.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
I kept going, so I must have liked it.
Not bad.
Pull up my pants. Make sure my pants are on.
There you go.
Make sure your pants are on. Like, why wouldn't they be on?
Nobody sees on the table. They don't care.